Hey y'all, we're going to be replacing this skirting here. It's about 20 years old and this last storm caused some damage on it and it's a bit worse for wear. First things first, we've got to clear up the old skirting, so we're going to move the bricks out of the way and open up that hole so we can start prying on it. Once we get the skirting off, there's a whole lot of nails they put in there, so it's going to be just a little bit to get those out, and then we can move on to the next step. Got to do a little bit of cleanup here so that the adhesive sticks a little better than it would. So we're just going to use the broom to sweep that off. And then in this situation, that board was just a smidge too wide. So we're going to grab another one, and it fits right on in there, which is nice. I don't have to make any cuts on it. And then once we've got them in there, we can line the other board up, and we can make a cut on that so that we have the right length boards. So we're just going to use one of those nails we just pulled out and scribe a line real quick. And then I don't have the best battery-powered tools, but I've got a reciprocating saw that's Hart brand, and it works rather well. It doesn't make the straightest of cuts, but that's more of a user error than a fault of the saw. Once we get this all cut, we're going to line them up, make sure they fit exactly the way we were expecting them to, and then we can move on to the next step in the process. Unfortunately, I left my caulking gun at home, so I was trying to show off here by cutting it with scissors. I don't recommend doing that if you can help it, at least not the way that I did, because the moment that tip came off, I gouged my finger with my nail, so lesson learned for the next time. Okay, we're just going to load up the caulk gun, and then we can throw a bead on down there. And then once I've got that down, I'm going to go get my brother to help me hold the boards because they're a little flexible. Now that I've got some help holding the board against the wall, I'm going to put a nail in either end and then work my way across. So I'm putting one about every 8 to 10 inches roughly. A 2-inch finish nailer would really help on this project, but I'm just doing it for my parents, and those are a wee bit expensive for this kind of just on the whim project. As we drive these last few nails into here, this was as far as I got a couple weeks ago because it was really hot outside. So I left it about where it is. I came out and caulked after I stopped filming and decided that we needed to bring in some trim pieces to go along the bottom side because there's some damage to the brick that was hidden by the original skirting. So I brought that over yesterday. It was a couple weeks later. And I didn't film much of that because my mom was out there working with me, and I try not to film them if I can. So there's the trim pieces. It was also decided as we were doing the trim that the rest of the skirting on this end needed to go too, so we had to cut some pieces to go around the steps. Okay, and there's the first side of 3 that is done. I did come out after we had eaten and the sun had gone down to caulk it up, but I didn't film any of that because it was dark and there was a lot of bugs. Thank you all for stopping on in and watching this. We are going to be going back in the next couple of weeks once it's cooler so we can do the front of the house, and then we're going to be doing the side as well. And they still have to pick a color that they want to do the skirting. Not sure if they want to pick the color that was already there or if they're going to change that. Ooh, excuse me. But we do still have time for them to pick that so we can get it sealed. I'm figuring a few weeks to a month isn't unreasonable, especially since we just passed the rainy season. So it shouldn't rain too much in the near future. So hopefully it'll stay nice and dry. And I'll be back then once we get that project going. Thank you. Y'all have a good one.